Ben Carson went on Meet the Press and made some strange comments about religion and science. Pay close attention here. This gets awkward.
Dr. Carson, last question. You're a famed neurosurgeon, the best, some say the best pediatric neurosurgeon living in the world today. You're a man of deep faith. Explain how science and religion, in your mind, coexist.
I personally believe that a person's religious beliefs are the things that make them who they are, gives them a direction in their life. But I do not believe that religious beliefs should dictate one's public policies and stances. I find a very good measure of correlation between my religious beliefs and my scientific beliefs. People say, how can you be a scientist, how can you be a surgeon if you don't believe in certain things? Maybe those things aren't scientific. Maybe it's just propaganda.
Maybe it's just propaganda. What are you talking about specifically, Ben? That's concerning. He said, in my case, there's a correlation between my religious beliefs and my science beliefs. Is there? There's a correlation between those two things? And what's propaganda? What aspect of science is propaganda? What are you referring to? I really, really hope you're not referring to evolution. We know that at the very least he is referring to climate change because he's as deep and ultra right-winger as you could possibly get, and he totally denies science on that. But Ben Carson is a fascinating case because, as I've said time and time again, he's the dumbest smart person in existence because he's a neurosurgeon and he's a brilliant neurosurgeon. You know, that it is what it is. I mean, we may disagree with him completely politically, and we do, but he's great at that one aspect of his life. It just so happens that that's where all of the positive, smart, intelligent effort goes with him. Because when it comes to politics, oh my goodness, is he off the reservation. How is there a correlation between your religious beliefs and your scientific beliefs? How is that even possible? What do you mean? So if I open up the Bible and I find certain passages, you'll go, that one right there actually coincides with science. How? Which ones? You do know that in the Bible, they refer multiple times to the earth being flat, right? They talk about sailing to four corners of the earth. You're aware of that, right? You're aware of all the various mythical things in the Bible, like unicorns. Did you know unicorns are in the Bible? Unicorns. They talk about unicorns. There's dragons in the Bible as well. Do we need to list off all the things that are profoundly anti-scientific? And when people say, well, it's a metaphor. But certain things, again, in the Bible, there's not even a metaphor for them that's coherent, that makes sense. As I've said before, what's the metaphor behind banning you from eating shellfish? What's the metaphor behind banning you from eating pork? What's the metaphor behind telling your wife she can't touch you when she's on her period? There's no metaphor behind that. There's none whatsoever. What's the metaphor behind the Noah story? In times of stress, hoard animals in your boat. I mean, is that the metaphor? What's the fucking metaphor? See, that's the thing. People default to the metaphor argument, but then they don't explain it any deeper because they can't explain it any deeper because it's nonsense. It's bogus. The idea that things that were called commandments were not meant to be taken literally, it's a metaphorical commandment. So they're commanding you, but they're not really commanding you. Well, that would defeat the definition of the word commandment. I mean, it doesn't add up. So what you have is smart people have to do this tap dance on the issue of religion, and they have to pretend like religion and science aren't fighting each other. They're absolutely fighting each other. And science is Mike Tyson in his prime, and religion is a one-legged kindergartner who's blind. It's not a fair fight. It's not a real fight because one uses empiricism and is based on a process by which we ascertain the truth about the nature of reality, and the other one is stuff written in a fictional book from thousands of years ago. So it's even extra stupid because it's super old. There's a correlation between his religious belief and his science beliefs. So when you open up somebody's head and you're about to do surgery on their brain, do you go, all right, here's where my religious beliefs come in. Oh, dear Lord, please fix this person's head. Fix their brain. Solve their issue. No, that doesn't happen. Because in order to actually get it right, you need to do the hard work yourself. Because you exist, and the space fairies, there's no evidence for.